For those who fought in the Battle of Britain, it was a battle for survival. For the free world, it was a breathless moment in history. For failure would have plunged mankind into a new dark age. Never have so many owed so much to so few.
So at last I get to build again. I have enjoyed making the catch-up videos, but at the end of the day I do like building. So let's try something new. Let's try and bring these parts on here, and we're going to go through the parts listing. However, I'm just going to pop about there. I'm going to pop the list up on the screen. So we have got part, let's call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. They're all exhausts, and you've got left 1, left 2, left 3, right 1, right 1, 2, right 3. So I can't tell these apart, to be honest with you. Let's just move those out of the way. So I'm going to guess at this. That's different. So the problem I have, they're all metal. They are metal. So I don't know how to tell. Right, so guys, anyone who knows me knows that I will often do things by the process of elimination. However, I can't see at the moment any difference between these parts. Sorry, I can't see how to identify. Yes, I can. Right, so right, part 1 and 4 look more sloping. So I think these are parts 1 and 2, 1 and 4. And I can see that one's, I think that's left, that's right. Parts 2 and 5 are flat, triangular but flat. So that will be these two there, and they're arranged in the same order as the next one. And this one is sloping but with a little circular bit on it, so that will go there. So at this point I don't know which is left and which is right, but all the same, all the top ones and all the bottom ones are the same size, same side. So we'll work that out by process of elimination. And then we've got 7 and 8, which are connecting pipes. And again, can I figure out what the difference is between the two? And one has got, so this is 7 and this is 8, and this has got a fatter end at this end. So I'm going to put those in there, and I'm going to get my Sharpie and I'm going to mark on there 7, 8, so that I know. And that leaves only one part, which is 9, which is the pump. So let's have a look at stage 1. Take the pump 10-9. Note that one side is rounded with a central peg. The other side has short spurs and a shaped central peg. Take the engine assembly from previous issue and position it upside down. Fit the shaped peg on part 10-9 into the matching recess at the back of the supercharger 7-3. The pipes attached to the pump are angled across the sides of the engine. When you are happy with the fit, apply a little super glue to the peg on parts 10-9 and fix the parts together and insert. So this is my engine, and as you can tell from previous issues, the glue's actually come undone, so it's not a problem. I'll glue that back in. So I'm going to turn that upside down, and I've actually dropped a piece out. Right, so it's just dropped, so I'm going to fix that later on. However, that will enable me, actually no, that will glue in fine. Right, so let me put that to one side. The glue I used actually wasn't very good. It was that cheap super glue. So this is the upside down part. Now I can see that there is a shaped peg there. Can you see that that is circular with a flat side, and there's a hole there of the same shape? So that's going to go into there like so. And I think that will need gluing in, but I can't seem to get that in flat. Ah, there we go. Oh no, right. I think that is not wanting to go in. So the question is this part the correct shape? Is it not meant to go in? It's definitely got a flat side to it, so I'm going to give it a gentle push. Right, yeah, that's gone in a little bit stiffer. So I can see then that this wants to go there. There is the hole. There we go. So there's a hole there, and likewise there's another one that's actually hard to see. So hard to see I can't see it myself. So let me cut the camera and then I'll have a look at it, and then I can come back to you. Right, so what we need to do then is pop a dab of glue onto this, and then we need to go straight into there and get it in the correct position. If we miss, we could end up gluing the part to the wrong bit, and I think that that is the angle there. So that's my practice run. So a little bit of glue, and there it is. I was lucky then, I went straight in. Obviously I have checked the orientation of the part first, and that's now stuck in. So this one looks a little bit easier, and I may actually need to use my tweezers. And there we go, that's the hole there. So I can see from that side it does sit up a little bit. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the glue, and I'm just going to pop that into there like that. Canter a few seconds, just give it a gentle tug, and that is stuck in there. So you see that it's probably easier putting those ends in before putting this end in. What we can now do is gently manipulate this part, and then we can do another test fit, and you see that goes in fine. So I'm wondering if we actually needed to put glue in there, because that's going to sit quite nicely. However, I will. So I'll put another little dollop of glue onto there. I'll lift this up. Sorry guys. Right, so I'll lift this up as much as I can, and I'm not going to put glue all the way round. Well, I'll only put glue all the way round if I can reach all the way round. To be honest with you, the strength of this glue, you probably only want 1 or 2 tiny drops, and that would be enough. There we go. So I've got that in. I did manage to get all the way around the circle, and that's stuck firm. So that is stage 1 complete. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fix this top bit, and then we'll get on with stage 2. Okay, so I've explained to you how to do to glue that on, but in doing so I've actually gone through stages 2 and 3. I didn't realise that was actually Hachette do elaborate on their instructions quite well. So that's actually 3 stages that we've done. So that's stage 1, that's stage 2, that's stage 3, or 2 and 3 the other way round. However, I would advise actually leaving stage 1 for last. As you saw the way I did it, pop the 2 sides in and then pop that last bit on. So let's have a look at stage 4. So take part 10.7 which has a peg on the end. Identify the socket circled on the side of detail A/B, fitted in issue 9. Position the pipes 10-7 along the side of the engine so that you can fit the peg on the end of the pipe into the socket, insert above, glue in place. So 10-7, remember we marked these because 8 had the larger end piece, so there's the end piece for part 8, and then 7 has got this smaller one, so this is the smaller one. Now looking at the magazine, this is, yeah, okay, so if you see there, let's get the pointy stick, aka cocktail stick, so that I can show you. So in there is where we're going to attach it to, and that's got a hole in it, whereas this one, this side, has got a peg on the end. Now this one has got a peg on the end, whereas piece 8 has got a hole. So the peg fits into the hole and the hole fits into the peg. So that means this definitely goes onto this side, and that's going to fit into there just like that, and that is going to hang something like that along there. And then what will obviously happen at a later stage is that these will get put into there. So let's do this stage, and then we'll do stage 7, because 7 is the same but on the other side. That will allow the glue to dry a little bit, which will make it stronger, and then we'll go to stage 6 while stage 7 is drying. So little tiny drop of glue into the hole, and then that goes into there just like that. So there you go, little bit of a tug, that's in fine. So being careful guys, because look, it has now got a bit of a wing. So we'll go to stage 7. Carefully turn the engine over, position the pipes 10-8 along the side of the engine, and identify the peg on the side of assembly C/D, fitted in issue 9, circled. Fit the socket on the end of part 10-8 over the peg, glue in place. So as usual, we will do a test fit, and would help if I used my stronger hands. So there is the peg, and that's going to go on like so, just like that, easy peasy. So that went in very well by applying glue into the hole on the engine. So let's apply glue to the engine, to the pipes on this one, and then we will match the peg up with the hole. So there we go, that's in, and count to about 5, and that's now stuck. So let's have a look at stage 6. Identify the pairs of holes on the engine block 3-7 that the silver connecting pipes will fit into. Apply a little super glue to the pipes and fix in place. So you know me guys with the test fitting, I will test fit, and if I feel I need to glue I will. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 holes along there, and then there's 6 holes along the bottom. We want to be going to the bottom. Now that is extremely fiddly, and this reminds me of a very famous issue on the Route Master, which is in my archive somewhere. So I think this is going to end up going in with tweezers. So what we need to do is position these in an easy way to work, and there we go, that looks fine to me. So that's not going to stay in. So to recap what I've done, I've grabbed it because I know that the position I want to finish with is that, because then I can position it in properly. So I need to turn around, grab the end like that, so that when I twist I'm then in that position, if that makes sense. So I will place, whoops, that's my pointy stick, this is my glue stick. So let's bring this down. So I will place just the tiniest amount of glue in there because it's a very small part. So I'm grabbing this end like this, placing it in, count to 5, and if all has gone well, when I let go, that will stay. There we go. So do we then test fit the next one, which you see that one goes in absolutely fine. So then we'll let go, we will apply a little piece of glue there and we'll stick it in, and then we will repeat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out stage 8, which you know what that's going to be, and then I will actually complete all of these, but I will speed the footage up. So as before, fit the black part of the connecting pipe into the brackets on the side engine cover 6.3. When you are happy with the fit, glue in place. So I've left that to dry for about 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes I've just taken a little break, had a little drink, and I've also just adjusted my camera angles a little bit. I found that where I was working like this, that was because the camera was set much lower. So I've moved the camera. So if you are ever going to film yourself, a bit of a tip, although you want to get good camera angles, you've got to set your camera angles around your good working area. It just makes life easier for you, and you don't get back strain, etc. So I said in an earlier part of the video I couldn't tell if these were left or right. I have had a look at the instructions, but however on page 4 they do have a tip which I will put up on the screen now, and it says take time to identify the exhaust parts 10.1 to 10.6 as shown in the photograph. Now I'm still having trouble identifying the difference between left and right, and I think that they will point downwards when they're the correct way round. So I think left will have the prongs on the left, and right will have the prongs on the right when the little locating tabs are pointing downwards. Can you see that they're off center? Can you see that those ones are pointing down, whereas if I turn it the other way round they'll be pointing up. So if you have them pointing downwards they'll be on the right. So I'm now going to rearrange them to actually left and right. So I think that is the correct orientation, but I am being prepared for it to be wrong. The next thing I've noticed is that the one on the very end is one big piece. The next two, they have this little piece that lowers, and that's to fit into the next piece. So you see that they're actually going to overlap. So we can do a test fit, and we can see that they feel okay, but the prongs are in a different position. So I'm not sure if that's correct, so I'll just change them around, and that's not going to fit. So they are definitely in the correct order. A dry fit will suggest that. So that might be a good point for us, because you see that they're all at different angles, so that could be to assist with the fit. So we'll test fit these together, and again they're all off center as well, so that's okay, because that's interesting, these lines are straight, these holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the instructions 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and that will go through all of these. So 10, identify part 10.3, pegs on the ends of the exhaust shafts fit into the 2 holes at the rear of the left hand side of the engine block. Stage 11, take part 10.2 and fit it next to part 10.3. The pegs on part 10.2 fit into the engine block, and the hooded end fits over the front of the part 10.3. And then 12, fit part 10.1 at the front of the engine block. Again, pegs fit into the engine block, and the rear of part 10.1 covers the nose of part 10.2. When you are happy with how the parts fit together, glue them in place in the correct order. And part 13, 14 and 15 I'm actually not going to read out, because they are exactly the same but on the other side. So we need to start with this one, and then everything overlaps on top. So let's first of all have a look at these parts. I want to see if it's going to be possible to fit them incorrectly, because they could actually, no, they're not the same part. So let's have a look at the left hand side, and these need to go to the rear of the left hand side, which is going to be this side. So let's do a dry fit, and that seems to fit in fine. So let's try the other piece, and that I would be unhappy. In fact, actually it's not a very good fit. It's like the pegs are out, but you can see that it's just trying to fit in such an odd angle. So that is the correct one. So then we'll double check the fit there. So then let's just try this one, and that is an odd fit. I don't know, I don't feel that that's that. I think that, yes, that's definitely a better fit. So I know I'm doing a lot of checking, but I just want to make sure I get it right. So those I'm going to push to one side. So then we'll do the test fit again, and that will go into there. It's a very loose fit, they will need gluing. Then we'll pop the next 2 pieces in, the next piece, sorry, and that wants to go in like that, and then the 3rd piece, and that I think is beautiful. Those exhaust pipes are just one of the really main features of the Spitfire. So the way I would like to do this is I would like to use my brush applicator. I think that will give me a certain amount of precision. I need some precision here, but I think I can apply the glue a bit better. So I'm going to brush the peg and the touching surfaces, and remember, this particular glue takes a little bit longer to dry, so I'll count to 10. That's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's glued in. So then I will test fit the next piece, and that still fits, And we have the advantage now that we could just apply a little bit of glue there as well. So same again. On the peg, and then just on those little surfaces that are going to touch, and then just a little bit on this surface that won't be seen, not too much, just enough just to make them into one part. So push that on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's wonderful. That really is wonderful. Look at that. How amazing is that? So then we'll test fit the final part, and that goes in. Look at that. That's beautiful. So same again, we get the glue, we're going to apply a little bit on the peg, a little bit on the touching surfaces. You don't need a lot of glue, and then we'll just put a tiny dab just on this surface there that's going to be hidden with the overlap. And now can you see why I'm using the brush? I just think it will work better for me. So I have seen people say, you know, about how small a tube of super glue is and how expensive it is. To be honest with you, I feel if you use it properly, it will actually last a long time. Some of my earlier videos I was talking about an old bottle of that, and you know, it's on its last legs, but in all fairness I've had it a very long time and I've used it an awful lot. So that one is in place and I'm really happy with that fit, really happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, but I don't feel you need to see me do all of that again, so I will be speeding it up. So there we go guys, that is the exhaust ports in place. I can't resist, I'm going to have a play. Give me 1 second. So let's have a play. Got to be done, hasn't it? So the engine is going to go in something like that, and now you've got those iconic exhaust ports. That is absolutely amazing. One small detail, and I would have thought this would come off with that in place. Mind you, we haven't got it in place properly yet, so so that's what it will look like when it's in place. How amazing is that, guys? So that is the end of the issue, and it was such a shame actually. I really enjoyed that. I know I've not done any building for many weeks. Obviously I have on video, but that is really coming along. Now there was a slight bit of technicality to that issue, not as much as I first thought there would be, but it's come along really nicely. So next issue is issue 11, and I think there will be, I have been told actually that there's quite a lot of technicality to it. So let's see what happens then in the next issue. So I will see you guys next video. Take care, bye bye.